go, can I get a job? How do I find something? Maybe an intern or something. And it was a sophomore year. Like, there's not that many options for you. So he told me that there's a company that's connected. He goes see this guy. They're working on some product, and maybe he could learn some stuff. It's on PC, and we didn't have any PCs in the late 80s. It was all mainframes, and I had no idea. But this man said, go over there and convince him that your game is to learn anything you throw at me. Don't go there overconfident, because everyone can say that. Just say, hey, throw things at me and I'll try to learn. So I went there. By the fall at this point, it's 1989, and I'm a junior. Fall, it's a junior. And I came on board and we worked on this product. It's called CareFinder. And CareFinder was this awesome product that was going to help home care facilities visit people at their home. So there was a whole big trend of people saying, oh, one day instead of having people go to the hospital, the hospital comes to your house. Late 80s, right? This product's going to help them coordinate this stuff. And there was supposed to be other programmers with me, and by the time I walk in the door, I was the only one. I was working like 15 hours a week, right? As an intern, or whatever I could work. And so I come on board, I'm the only guy there. I'm working on this product inside a PC. It was called DBase 3 back then. Then ended up being DBase 4. I'm working on it. It's a computer, and I had this turbo button, by the way. Turbo button. It went from 12 megahertz to 8. So you can slow it down. Like, why would you ever have a button, right? So it's just, right? So this couple weeks, this one product was actually installed on a local, it was called a home care agency that had this product. We convinced them just to get it. This is before I came on board. Within a couple weeks of my employment, the guy calls me up and said, get this piece of crap off my computer, which I bought because of you guys. I didn't even need a computer. So I bought this computer because of you guys. So get this thing off of it. I'm like, oh, great. My job is gone, right? Right? I want to make a couple of, I was getting very good pay. And driving back, my boss owned the company and always had Lincoln Town cars. So we're driving back, I'm like, oh man, done, right? A couple weeks into the job. I remember during an interview, he talked about this product that he could create. They had this idea, already had a copyright on it. It's called Transfinder, and it would actually help bus routes and get kids to and from school, using the similar concept of home care. So I convinced them on the way from Scotia to Erie Boulevard, Tim, how about we resurrect that idea? Let me work on that. And again, this guy was almost 46 years older than me. So whatever, sure, let's do that. So I'm back, I'm like, good, I got a couple more weeks at this job, right? But guys, I loved it so much, and I really, based on the internship program, it was only 15 hours a week, I think it was. But I worked a lot more than 15 hours a week. I actually would come in weekends and night, and I would put 15 hours on my timesheet. And Jim would say, you worked more than that. Why don't you put more than 15? I'm like, well, because I can't get more than 15 hours worth of credit. He goes, doesn't mean you can't work more than 15 hours. So actually, sometimes I would put 20 hours. I would come in nights and weekends, I would work on this product, and man, it was great. And it's because people actually would give me an opportunity to work on something that I love, right? And I gave everything I had. In the mid-90s, and you guys in the computer science field should know, back then, it's not that much different as today. I mean, that was the place to be. Now there's actually, being an entrepreneur, there's no such thing. But if you're a computer scientist in the mid-90s, you were making a lot of money. And some of those students were recruited out of, taken out of college before they even graduated. It was a big boom, and it's going on right now too. And so it was exciting that my friends were making a lot of money. I wasn't. And if you guys, some of you have mom and dads like I had, they would give me this pressure, like you're giving your heart and soul to this company, and you're still living at home. You barely have a car to drive because you can't afford anything. What are you doing? I don't love this stuff. And of course, I don't know about you guys, but moms talk with other moms, right? Because they want to talk about how their kids are doing, right? Like, the only mom? They don't want to know, well, my daughter's doing this, my son is doing this, right? So I would come home and say, well, blah, 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 just told me that they got this other job. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I love this. So you want to encourage me just to quit this. This is going nowhere. You know, you got a couple clients here and there, and it's not good. You're not making any money. And but I realized some of my friends were making these very lucrative positions. They were hired. A lot of them went West Coast, and they were getting stock options. You get to the company and get these huge stock options. They would give you amazing cars. They would lease it for you. It's called golden handcuffs. Because if you ever leave, guess who pays that lease? You do. So yeah, we give you a nice car. You've got a nice BMW you drive. We pay for it. But when you decide to leave, you pay the bill. So it's called golden handcuffs, right? Or let's say here's 10% of the company, but if you leave, you get 0. But that 10% might not worth anything. But here you go. But meanwhile, you're 22, 23 years old and having a great time in the West Coast. I'm thinking, man, I should do that. So I went to Jim, how about giving me a piece of the company? Right? You can't pay me that much. Maybe I get a, by the way, nobody here in the company, nobody is getting the rate that I was getting just about 30 years old. That's I'm telling you how much I was getting paid at that time, right? So I'm thinking, Jim, maybe you could give me a piece of the company. So he realized, oh, you want a piece of the action. He had the company evaluated, and he came back and say, if you want the piece of the company, percentage, here's how much you have to pay me for each share. Of course, I'm going back home like, all right, I'm gonna start owning a company. My family goes, are you crazy? You have barely any money to afford anything. You're not getting any money, and any money you're gonna get, you're gonna give it back to that guy to buy what? What are you buying? You serious? Yeah, but this could be my company one day, right? It could be mine. So he gave me the opportunity to buy up to 25% of the company. Guys, it took me almost 5 years to get to 25%. 5 years. Because I would buy 1 share at a time. That's a lot, right? 2, 3. Sometimes I would get these bonuses based on what kind of sales we got. Like I would get a little extra and buy 5 shares, right? Like, woo! Finally got to 25%. I got married. I actually convinced him to give me another 10%. Again, purchase it. So I purchased 35%. And here's my dad. Guy had these great proverbs. He would say so many of these things. And one of them would say, in a partnership, in business partnership, has to be odd number of people. Odd. And 3 is too many. You follow what that means? Yeah. What's odd number? It's 1. Right. I tell you what that means. It doesn't mean you're going to be the only person in that state, because one person has to make a decision. That's it. If you have a partnership, someone has to be assigned to be the decision maker, like it or not. There's a CEO for a reason. That's it. They make the decision, like it or not. If that person doesn't make it, they get replaced. But that's why. You can't have multiple people make decisions. So I thought about it. Wow, 35%. I can't make any decision. We're doing okay, but how do I get to the next 65%? I have to convince this man to sell the company now to me. There's a difference between here, buy 2, 3 shares and 35% of the company. But how do you convince someone to go the rest of the company? Is that you have to come up with a plan. You have to convince them that you're gonna take care of this baby better than you took care of your own baby, right? And you have to be passionate about things. And so I convinced them. So December 22nd, 2000 is when I actually became 100% owner of the company. And I immediately renamed it to Transfinder. And there were 7 of us. Remember, 1989 to 2000. It's 11 years. We made it to 7 people, right? You could tell the size of the company I was working with and trying to build. And now we're over 100 people here in the company. And obviously we moved from Erie Boulevard and we built this building. But I don't forget though, every time I tell this story, I always tell people, you gotta remember what it takes to be successful. Yes, it definitely takes luck. I'm always going to say there's a little factor of luck in there, but you have to work hard, and you have to make the right connections. Because I don't care if you work all night, all day, if you're by yourself and you're not sharing ideas with other people, you're sharing your thoughts, or you're bouncing ideas, or you got tons of criticism, you're really never going to go too far. Not too many places have you heard that there's one man, one woman had one idea, they kept it to themselves, and they changed the world. Not too many people, right? So that's the key, is these type of networking event, is that talk to everybody, because you don't know. You might actually talk to someone that was either next to you or two cubes down from you. They didn't realize, wow, there's some good things here. Or another company. I talk to everybody. You're at Price Chopper, you're buying groceries. There's no reason why you can't talk to somebody that's waiting for you. You don't know. You don't know that person. They're buying milk, but you have no idea. They could have a problem that you could solve. Networking is the most important thing you could do for yourself, is talk to people. And what's nice about talking to people, if you have an idea, you actually bounce ideas. And what's nice about it is you get the reaction. If the reaction is not so good, it's not really their problem, it's your problem. So change your pitch. So just keep talking to people. And you can experiment with the lady at the cash register, right? She doesn't want to hear from you. You just tell her something. If her idea, if she looks at you funny, like, all right, change your pitch. You see what happens when you network with people? You actually could experiment with your ideas, right? Or to meet your partner in life, right? Sometimes you need to have conversations. It's not gonna just happen. You just don't walk down the street, all of a sudden, someone just picks you randomly. It doesn't happen. That only happens in Hollywood, right? You know, it's almost like winning the lottery, right? I think it's over $500 million at this point, right?
That's right.
Right? The biggest Powerball ever. But that's my recommendation. Talk to everybody. You're not going to be liked by everybody. Just get over it. It's okay. You know, and you don't have to have people. I always look at people. There's a group of people in my life that they don't have to come to Thanksgiving dinner in my house. They don't have to, right? Not everyone has to be at that level that you're invited to Thanksgiving in your house. They don't have to be, right? There's a small group of people that should be invited at your house for Thanksgiving dinner. So it doesn't mean that everyone has to be at that level. But that's my recommendation, is talk to every single person you're getting pizzas in Nico. You don't know. The person getting pizza could just be somebody's looking for somebody, and it could be you, right? You never know. And it's something that I never learned that in college. They never told me that, right? It never told me to do that kind of stuff, to talk to everybody. And I really believe that's something that I love, talking to people. And I'm not ashamed, I'm not embarrassed. And that's what I recommend you guys do. And so I'm so happy you did this right here, because really